side. Again, my feet are staying pointed towards the front. That way I do get a little bit of a stretch as I go from one side to the other. It should be stretching your hip flexor muscles. Good. From here, let's go ahead and put our knees together, and we're going to circle just a little bit. Getting those joints warmed up. Should be feeling warming on your knees and your ankles. Good. Next, we're going to go to what is called the socket stretch. So I'm going to put my hand on my hip, and I'm going to lean back. Notice my back toes are facing that way, and my front toes are facing towards the front. I'm pushing down, and I'm leaning back. You should be feeling a stretch right here on the inner portion of your leg. Good. Lean back as much as you can. If you can't lean back too much, don't worry about it. We're working on it. Try to go farther apart with your legs if you can. If not, if you have to be up here, that's no problem either. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn our back foot so that our heel is up. Again, I'm going to have my hand on my hip. My other hand is right here on my knee. I'm trying to lean back. I should be feeling this right at the top of my quads and right on my hip. Lean back as much as you can. If you start to feel that you're falling over, go ahead and you can put your hand on the ground and just try to focus on pushing your hip down towards the ground. From here, if you haven't already, go ahead and put your hand on the ground. My back foot, notice the top of my foot is going to go down. I drop my knee down, and I'm going to push my hip towards the ground while also keeping my body up with my arms straightened, and I'm trying to stretch right here on my side and part of my glutes. And then with this part, I'm going to push my knee outwards so that I feel it on my glutes on my other leg. I'm going to hold this for a few more seconds. Good. Now we're going to go and we're going to do the same thing that we just did, all to the other side. So we're going back to our socket stretch. From here, trying to bring my chest up and push my hip down towards the ground as much as you can. Good. If you need to bounce a little bit, that's fine. I don't mind that, especially when you're still warming up. The bounce will make it a little bit easier for you. But now we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn the back foot so that my heel is up off the ground and I'm pushing my hip down. Again, if you need to catch your balance, you can put your hand, your fist on the ground, whatever, that way you don't fall over. That's no problem. Hold this for a few more seconds. Make sure to keep your back knee off the ground, though. We don't want to put it on the ground yet. But now go ahead and place your hand on the ground. Turn so that the top of your foot is right on the ground. Now we're going to drop our knee, and we're going to pivot towards the back. Again, we're trying to stretch right in here, and then my other hand is going to be pushing my knee outwards or towards my bottom foot. That way I feel a stretch right here in my glutes. Good. Now what we're going to do, we're going to start just like this, and I'm going to pick a side, and I'm going to sit down onto that foot. You can have your foot flat on the ground, or you can go up onto the ball of your foot. Either way is fine. I'm going to use my other hand to post, and I'm reaching towards my toes. This time I'm trying to get a nice stretch in my hamstrings. If you can, try to get your head closer to your knee while still trying to maintain a straight back. And now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So I'm going to put my hands in the front, and I'm just going to switch sides, just like this. So now I should be feeling the stretch right here in my hamstrings, and I'm going to reach for my toes. Good. From here, I want you to come up, feet kind of far apart, and I want you to put your arms on the inside, or if you can use your elbows, and we're trying to push our knees apart, almost kind of like we're doing the splits, but we're standing right now. So we're just going to push apart. You can use your elbows, is what I like to do, but if you can't quite get that yet, you can go ahead and just put your palms on the inside of your knees and push towards the outside. But from here, we're gonna do my favorite thing. We're gonna go all the way down into our splits. So we're doing our center splits right now. We're gonna have our hands right in front of us. Don't worry if you can't go all the way down, if you can only go down here or even up here. We're trying to make progress. This is our first class, guys, so we're working towards getting to the splits. If you can't do it yet, don't worry about it. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna stick our left hand over our left leg, and sometimes you have to kind of come up a little bit and then drop back down, and that's no problem either. So now my left toes are pointed straight up to the sky. My right toes are pointed outwards. If you're already kind of flexible, you can start to lean forward or lean back. If you're not there yet, don't worry about it. Just go as much as you can. The biggest thing is if you can't go yet, all the way down yet, I see some people, they start to bring this knee down and they kind of start to cheat. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to cheat yourself. Keep those legs straight. Now we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna go back to the center, and then we're gonna go to the other side. So now my right toes are facing up, my right hand's on the right side of it, and I'm gonna bring all the way down, as low as I can. I'm trying to keep my back leg straight and my front leg straight. Again, if you can, start leaning forward, leaning back, all the way around. This will help you get a deeper split. And go ahead and stand up, hands on your hips. And we're gonna make a big circle. This should feel good after you've done your splits, in case they tightened up a little bit while you were stretching. And we're gonna go back to that one that we did earlier, where our feet are apart, and we're just turning our hips. You can bend your knees here, make the hip turn a little bit more. That's no problem. And good job on that warm-up. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off doing our front snap kicks. So we're gonna start off in our, let's go to cherry up first. So our hands and feet are together. We're gonna go to our jumbe. So our jumbe is our ready stance. My foot steps out as my hands come up and then down in front of my belt. But now we're gonna step back into our fighting stance. So our hands are gonna come up right to our face, and our back foot, it's gonna be just a little bit off the ground. I don't want it planted, and our center of weight is right in the center. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna practice reaching our knees forward. So we're gonna end up doing the entire front snap kick, which is gonna look just like that, but we're gonna do just the first part first. So we're going to reach with our knees. Instead of just bringing it right up to my chest, I want you to try to push it out and push your hips forward, and we're gonna bring it back. We're gonna do this a few times on each side. I want you to start off using your right leg and do this along with me. I'm gonna be counting in Korean, so you're gonna hear that. Hana, bring it all the way back. Doi, all the way out and back. Set, out and back. Try to lean back a little bit as you push your hips forward. Net. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Is it good? You know, when you're doing this, you should feel a little bit of a stretch right in here. Up. Yeah. Good job on that. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to switch our feet. Our hands are still up. And we're going to do the same thing with our back leg, which is now our left leg. And again, we're trying to reach as far as we can forward. Set. Net. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Is it good? You know. Up. Yo. Cool part about our front snap kick, if we practice it like this, we're also practicing knees. So if somebody was to come in and we weren't able to fully extend, we're still getting a good knee in prior to the extension. So if they do enter into a closer space, they'll catch a knee instead of the full kick. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go with our right foot to the back again, and we're going to practice our entire front snap kick. So it's going to look just like this. I'm going to go forward, kick out, bring it back, and down. When I'm doing this, I'm kicking this one with the instep of the foot. So this is primarily going to be targeting to the groin, or if my opponent is bent over, maybe I just kicked them in the groin, now they're slightly bent over, I can use this to kick to the head as well. So we're going to do our entire kick now. Do it along with me. Notice how I'm not going too fast. I want to have a nice controlled kick. Set. Net. You notice it might be a little bit more difficult when we do it slow, but that's all right. Yes. Yes. Is good. Make sure you breathe out with each kick. Yero. Hook. My hands are staying in front. I don't want to bring them all the way back behind me. Yo. Good. Now we're going to go ahead and switch feet. We're going to do the same thing with our other leg. Again, we're reaching forward, kicking out, and bringing it back. Set. Notice how I kick out and I bring it back before I set it down. I don't want you to kick with the straight leg, bring it down. I want you to kick, bring it back, and then down. Net. Yes. Yes, sir. Is good. Yero. Hook. Yo. Good. That was our front snap kick. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to our low block. When we do our low block, I want you guys to use your left hand and put it on top of your right shoulder. I'm using my right hand right now just so I'm mirroring what you are doing. So hand's gonna come on top, and we're gonna break this down into 2 counts. So this is gonna be hana and dol. Set up, hana. Notice my other hand's out here in front, and I bring it right back. Dol. This is our traditional block, so we are gonna use both hands each time we do this. Hana, dol. Hana. So this is going to be blocking a kick that's to our midsection. Good. Now we're going to do the other side. So I want you to put your right hand on top of your left shoulder, and this is going to be set and net. My hand comes all the way down, and my other one comes right back to your belt. If you don't have a belt right now, go ahead and just set it right onto your hip bone. Set, net. Set, net. Hana, so our left hand's going on top. Dol. Set, right hand's on top. Net. Hana, dol. Set, net. Hana, dol. Set, net. So I was practicing our low block with 4 counts. Now we're going to move on to 2 counts. So we're going to start in our junbei. We're going to start with our left hand goes on top first, and it's going to be 1 count. So when I say hana, we're going to go through the entire thing. Make sure we still prep and then execute. Hana, other hand comes on top. Dol. Hana, dol. Hana, dol. Hana, dol. Good. Now let's go back to our junbei position, our ready stance. And what we're going to do is we're going to be adding a little bit of footwork. So we're going to step forward with our right leg. Again, I'm still mirroring you. We're going to step forward with our right leg. Our right hand comes on top and low block. So notice how as soon as my foot completely steps down onto the ground, that's when my low block ends. I don't want you to step and then do your block. We're going to do them simultaneously. So they end at the same time. Whenever I step, whether it's forward or backward, as soon as I settle into my stance, that's when my block should be executed. So again, we're going to start using our right foot is going to step forward first. Right hand's going to come on top. So if you want to go ahead and prep the arms and step forward, block. Now we're going to use the other hand and step forward, block. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to move backwards. So our right hand comes on top, step back, block. Step back, low block. Step forward, low block. Forward, low block. Backwards, low block. Backwards, low block. Good. Now we're going to go back to our junbei, and we're going to be doing it to the sides now. So when we're doing it to the sides, we're gonna keep our right foot, or our left foot, because I'm mirroring you still, so it'll be my right foot, is gonna be planted, but I'm gonna be pivoting on the ball of my foot, not on my heel, on the ball of my foot. And my other leg, so my left leg, your right leg, is gonna move to the side as we block. So I pivot on one leg, and I move the other one as I block. So let's go ahead and prep. Put your right hand on top, and we're gonna step back with our right leg. Block, and we'll be facing to our right side. Again, back to Junbei. Prep, block. Back to Junbei. Prep, block. Back, and block. Good. Again, block. Now from here, I'm going to step forward with my left foot, or you're going to use your right foot, and I'm going to block towards the other side. So I'm going to prep with my left hand on top, so you're going to use your left hand on top. I'm going to step, block. Good. Go back to here, just how we were. Your left hand's going to come on top. Your right foot's going to step, block. So notice how, again, I'm still just pivoting on this one leg. So as I started here, I pivoted on this leg. And now as I go to the other side, I'm going to pivot on the same foot. So this foot is not moving. It's my stationary foot at this time. So let's start again. Do both of those. Right hand goes on top. Step back, block. Left hand's on top. Step forward, block. And we're being blocking to both sides now. Go back to Junbei. Get ready. Block. Now this foot moves forward. Get ready. Block. We're going to do this a few more times. My count. I'm going to break it down to 2 counts now. I'm going to say hana and do. Hana. Do. Go back. Hana. Do. Good. Go back to Junbei. Now we're going to use this foot is going to be our pivoting foot, and this foot is going to step. So it's going to be your left foot that's stepping now. Prep with your left hand on top. Your left foot's going to step back and block to your left. Good. Go back. Prep and block. Back. Prep and block. Good. Just like you saw on the other side, we're going to add the extra step also. So we're going to block, and now we're going to prep with the other arm. And again, this foot pivots, and this foot moves. Block, and back. So I'm going to break this down into 2 counts again. Left hand goes on top. Hana. Right hand on top. Do. Back. Hana. Do. Reset. Hana. Do. And reset. Hana. Do. Reset. Good job on this. So we're practicing just moving here and pivoting. Again, same concepts apply. As I settle into my stance, that's when my block should end. So if you noticed, my foot touches the ground with the ball of my foot first, and then right as my heel touches, that's when my block is ended. So we're going to do a few more times on this side. Hana. Do. Reset. Hana. Do. Good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add our kicks and our blocks together. So we're going to start off going forward first. I'm going to step forward with my left, and I'm going to block with my left. You're going to step forward with your right and block with your right. So we're going to set up for our block. So your right hand's on top. Step forward, low block. Now we're going to just do the first part, and we're going to reach with our knee, and we're going to bring it back. So again, Junbei, step forward, block. This is going to be hana, do, and bring it back to Junbei stance. Hana, do. If you notice when I did the first part of my kick at least, my hands come up. So I'm not going to keep my hands down here like I just did my block. my face. So this is simulating me blocking, say, a roundhouse kick to this side. I step forward, I blocked it, and then I go in, whether it be a knee strike or my full front snap kick. Again. Hana. Doi. Hana. Doi. Good. Push your hips forward with this. We're trying to get extension and reach. Hana. Doi. Good. Now we're going to do the same thing, starting with the other side. So I'm going to use my right side, and you're going to use your left side. This is going to be Hana. Doi. And go back. After each one, I want you to go back to your Junbei stance or your ready stance. Hana. Doi. Hana. Doi. Hana. Doi. Hana. Doi. Good. Now we're going to do the entire front snap kick. So we're going to start off. We're going to go back to the side that we started with. So you're going to be using your right side to block first. I'm going to be using my left side. We're going to step forward on Hana. And we're going to do our full front snap kick on Doi. And we're going to come right back to our Junbei or our ready stance. On my count. Hana. Doi. Hana. Doi. Notice I'm still, after my kick, I'm rechambering it. Oh. I'm not just letting it fall. Oh, we want good control. If you have to slow it down to get better control, that's no problem. Hana. Doi. Hana. Doi. Good. Now we're going to do the other side. So you're going to block with your left hand first. Hana. Doi. Make sure we breathe with our kicks. Hana. Doi.
There.
Hana. Doi. Hana. Doi. Good job on that. Try to get full extension. Go as far as you can. And try to get height too. Maybe we're not kicking them in the face, but let's practice kicking higher. That way when we're actually doing this, it'll be easier for us. Hana. Doi. Good. The next technique we're going to do, it's still going to be combining our low block with our front snap kick. This time we're going to be moving to the sides. So we're going to be doing our right side first. So you're going to be using your right side. I'll be using my left. I'm going to pivot and step backwards slightly as I do my low block off to my left side or your right side. Front snap kick. I'm going to bring it back and come back to my Junbei stance. So now we're going off to the side. We're having an attacker coming from the side. I turn, block, front snap kick, and I come right back to the center. We're going to do this one on one count now. So as I turn, we're going to do the entire combination. We just practiced it a few times, so I'm sure you guys can do it. Hana. Doi. Set. Net. Yes. Yes. I want to try to get good twist power. Even with our low blocks, remember, at the very end of the block, we have this nice twisting until we make contact. But now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to the other side. Same thing, we're going to do it all on one count. Hana. Doi. Set. Net. Yes. Good. Good job on that. That was our practicing our combinations. So we're just adding our hand and footwork together to make it more fluid as we do these techniques. Now we're going to move on to the conditioning portion of our class. So this is going to be a fun and a little bit painful part of class. So I want you to use a wall, you can use a couch, you can use a chair, anything that's going to take away the balance portion of this. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be practicing our front snap kicks, but we're going to start with our knee up as high as we can, or at least to belt level. It doesn't have to be super high because it's going to be quite hard what we're going to be doing. We're going to do 3 sets, so we're going to do 3 on each leg, and we're going to switch in between each one just to kind of give ourselves a little bit of a break. We're going to have our other hand is up, and we're going to kick